Yo, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Newfie Hall Effect boards, all my thoughts and opinions on them, and if I think they're worth picking up over everything else. So let's just get started. So to start, Newfie did send me these keyboards. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form affect my opinion of these boards. As you know, I like to be open and unbiased when talking about everything, especially when it comes to keyboards and mice. And the second thing to note, this is a very opinionated review. If you're looking for more subjective, informative, based on numbers content, this is not going to be the review for you. I have none of the testing methods to be able to shoot or be able to give you the accurate number information for these Hall Effect boards. These are going to be just my thoughts and opinions when compared to other products that I own, like the CK75 or the ADHE. So starting off, we're going to talk about the cons of these keyboards. The one thing that's really off-putting about them is the fact that there is no SOCD whatsoever. There's no AK Hertz scanning. So when paired against something like the ADHE or the CK75 or the EZ60 or the Raka 60, all these boards that have true AK scanning and SOCD.
So Newfie actually released a firmware update right after I filmed this video that added all the features I was complaining that it was missing. So the keyboard now has DKS, mod tap, SOCD with 6K scanning, AK polling. So I'm just gonna put this here. Ignore everything I say for the rest of the video because it's kind of just incorrect now. The keyboard has all the features I said it's missing. So if you are looking for a good $100 60% keyboard or $150 TKL or 75%, these are definitely like the options to go to. The AimerzHQ is just such a good keyboard for that price point especially, but it doesn't, in my opinion, sound better than my Wooting, which is sound plays a very big factor in what keyboards I keep on my desk. But this is just a little quick correction. The keyboards do have SOCD. They do have all that feature set that I said was missing, and that's just blatant misinformation. My fault. But let's return to the video. Just take everything else I say about the SOCD and missing that with a grain of salt because it just doesn't, like it has it now, so.
If you don't know what SOCD is, it essentially allows you to choose which key you want to be prioritized when you're hitting it. So let's say you're doing AD strafes in a game like Overwatch or Valorant or CSGO, where it's banned now. You're able to hold your A key, and if you want to make a quick switch in direction, you can hit the D key, and instead of letting off the A key, it'll just immediately register the D key. Here's a little bit of an example on the screen so you're able to see what this looks like in practice. And it's a very useful feature, especially in a game like Overwatch, where AD shapes are very powerful when you're playing an agent like Sojourn or Soldier, where you're able to pretty much quickly navigate, and because the hitboxes are not small, but small enough to the point where if you're playing a projectile-based character, you can easily miss a shot on someone who's strafing really fast. I really like to be able to have that feature, but you don't get that with these boards. The Field 75 is more of a gaming board, and the AimerzHQ is more of an office board. That's kind of how I find myself using them. Going over the actual build quality of these boards, the AimerzHQ uses an aluminum outer casing with a plastic ABS bottom. They're both using Jades, but I believe you can get them configured with their Gatoron White Pros, whatever they're called. They're very nice sounding switches. Here's a quick sound test so you can see how it is compared to other keyboards like the ADHE and a couple of my mechanicals. Since these are keyboards designed from a mechanical board manufacturer, you are getting a very nice sound profile. They're very nice and light. They are linear switches, so there is no tactile bump, but you are getting a really nice smooth up and down. It's a very lightweight actuation force with this as the actuation on each spring. As you know, since these are Jades, they're fully customizable, and you can put just about any key switch that you can from the Wooting into these keyboards, except for the Air60, which is a low profile board, and there's not as many Hall effect low profile switches out for it. The overall design of the Feel 75 is really cool. You get this really nice futuristic look. You get this handle on the side. You also get these cool macro buttons alongside this very nice volume wheel, which I never ended up using because it was on the wrong side of the keyboard, and I normally use my mouse hand to switch the volume if I have a volume wheel, like on the CK75 where it's at the bottom, or a new board that I can't talk about just yet, but has a couple very nice position dials on the top right-hand side of the board, which I found myself using a lot more, even though I just got the board today, compared to the one on the left side where I don't see myself moving my keyboard hand to move the macro wheel. On the Air60, you lose all of that. You do get a really nice light bar, which can let you change like certain things. Like you can make it be your caps light, you can make it be just actuation force light. It's just a little light bar on both sides. The 60 does not have any arrow keys. I don't believe it has dynamic keystroke, but I will put here on the screen if it does. I'm not 100% sure at the moment. Overall, I did find myself using these keyboards a lot, but not for gaming. For gaming, I still prefer my CK75 and my ADHE. These are like the two boards to beat. I have never seen a board that made a Wooting feel bad. And even to this moment, I still think the CK75 is a really good keyboard, but the Wooting is a better overall package for a keyboard, and those are the two that I use the most. I did find myself using the Air60 a lot for my basic office use. I carried it around with my MacBook when I was doing work on the go because it has a very nice feel to it and I like using it. If this was a wireless keyboard, this might be my everyday travel keyboard, but since it is a Type-C wired only, I did have to carry around a cable to use it. The Feel 75, I didn't like as much as I like the Air60, but that's mainly because of the form factor. I really don't like the fact that these macro buttons are here with the handle. It looks really cool, but in use with my very large hands, and as much as I mistype, I always find myself mispressing on these macro buttons here, which is 100% a skill issue. I'm not gonna fault the board for that. That's just me not knowing how to use a keyboard. But other than that, I did find these to be really good keyboards, especially at their price point. The Feel 75 being at $159 is a little bit harder of a recommend, but that's why I always recommend the Air60 if you're looking for something like this. This is the only keyboard on the market at its price point, being a low profile, $120 Hall effect gaming keyboard. You do lose SOCD, you do lose dynamic keystroke, you do lose mod tap, but those are very premium features that I only expect in more premium boards like the ADHE or something like the CK75. Or the more modern Razer and Corsair boards. But as of right now, I can easily recommend the Air60 for all your like basic needs. If you do like low profile keyboards and you want something like this is the only keyboard like it on the market that isn't $300 like the Zen Aim keyboard, which is super expensive. The Feel 75 is more of a, if you can afford it, definitely get it, but at the same price point, you do have the Polar Pro, which has SOCD and dynamic keystrokes, which allows you to have kind of analog movement like you can on a controller. It is a very nice feature to have, and the fact that this doesn't have it makes it a hard recommend compared to the Air60, which feels absolutely incredible in game. But I did find myself cramping in the hand a lot, which I didn't really like, but that's why I really recommend it to people who are looking for those low profile keyboards, because they aren't very common in the Hall effect space. But thanks so much for watching this review. Hopefully you did like this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, leave a comment what your thoughts are on these keyboards if you plan on picking one up, or if you do have one, what are your thoughts on the Air60 and Feel 75? These are some of my favorite boards when it comes to the style of them. They're very stylish looking keyboards and really good in setup pictures, but when it comes to performance, I much prefer my 80 and my CK75 over these. We're talking about general everyday performance, and you're talking about general everyday just use. I do just prefer the form factor of a compact 75 like the CK75 or the ADHE, which is kind of half blown up, half compact TKL design. But that should be all. See you guys in the next one.
You say you want it, oh baby girl, you say you want it. Baby, come get it, oh baby, yeah, you gotta get it. Hey baby girl, drop all these problems. Look at everyone who's trying harder. I don't know if I should try harder, cause you're the only one I want. I only want